an infected surface, and then the third group is infected then cleaned, laser cleaned surface. And there was no surface alteration, and the laser was the best group, and that was attributed to the removal of cytotoxic bacterial cell components also from the titanium surfaces. So that's the highest level of compatibility. Now, actually with SLA surfaces, the laser was actually even improving even on the original surface. So it's the best again after the infection and cleaning, but also it was improving on the original SLA surface. Not the newest Straumann surface, but the older one, SLA, it was improved by the laser. Then again, surface roughness was slightly reduced with the laser, but higher cell viability was seen when the infected surface was treated with the laser. And the surface wettability was also higher. So that's very important. You know, the implants companies are marketing wettability because that will attract the blood on the surface, and that is increased by use of the erbium laser. Actually, there's a dentist, a company in Korea, who uses his light marketing this. So he gets the original SLA implant, and he uses the light walker, and then he disinfects and packages the implants again. You know, zero open, non-implant from the package. Original implants. They are treated by the laser, and they are sold, not sold, but you know, they are charged for the service. So 100 visuals, all good, high Excel viability. Now this is quite interesting. They used a high setting, but they said after using the laser with 5 watts and 20 hertz, the species surfaces dramatically increase the hydroxyapatite precipitation around the implant. So this is saying actually the bone will be much better if the implant was treated with laser. So that's also interesting to see. So that's at the end, it's not just checking the cell attachment, but the hydroxyapatite precipitation into that granulation tissue around the implant. Again, a greater bone to implant contact compared to the cuvette after the defect was healed, and studies show that BIC is bone. And this is the other discussion. When I was showing the video about the black marks on the implant, should we be worried about that? It seems probably not, because all the tests show that it was thermally safe around the implant on the bone surface. So actually removing an even layer of titanium oxide seems to help with the healing. That was easier with the Tyrolite surface, as I mentioned, is the softest one. But you can do it also with other implant surfaces. Again, another one, stripping the contaminated oxide layer increased the bone to implant contact with little or no evidence of inflammation, arresting the disease progression and so on. So actually removing a bit on the surface doesn't look like it's actually damaging the implant because there is no thermal side effects. We can't use the erbium on zirconia, obviously, because it goes through. We know from laminate removal, bracket removal, that it goes through. So that's different with zirconium implants. Some studies, again, systematic review saying that erbium exhibits a strong bactericidal effect at the low energy level, so that would be one to go for. But there are deep studies to prove once and for all that it works. So there are some studies like this with 12 patients and so on. They are all showing good results with non-surgical and surgical approach to this topic. Again, 4 weeks, 3 months.
removal of burnish by laser, reconsideration of implant surfaces. Affect bone regeneration was radiologically confirmed after 3 weeks, so it was all stable after 3 days. But one patient. So, coming to the reason of the implant, there are 85 of these reported by Dr. Benver, who has a book on periodontitis. So we can't really
So maybe it's feasible with laser like calculus, yes, you can do something about it. Corrosion, not really. Bruxism, not really directly. Implant angulation, number of implants, occlusion, surgery itself, radiation, patient had smoking, stress itself. So these are not things that we can fix with the laser. What we can do is we can optimize the surface and the bone surface so that the healing has the highest possibility to take place also with biomodulation. Yeah? Biology doesn't change, we still need to check the walls and the instances and so on. Where we can do regenerative therapy, that's where we do. So that might be an answer to your question maybe from before. If we have 2 walls or 1 wall defects, that's where we just need to do resective therapy, maybe implantoplasty, that's outside of the bone, and then we do articular repositioning flap to expose the implant surface for accessibility. So that's not changed even with the laser. So I think, so I will show a few photos like this. So this is one case, you see a lot of bone loss around this implant. We didn't really understand why that was happening. The hygiene was not really bad with this patient. Then as we started the surgery, it raised the flap, immediately loss of clinician tissue was there. As I was going in there with the laser, the crown came off. So it was actually the fracture of the screw was the problem. We can see big defect, but implant position probably perfect. So we said, okay, let's clean and regenerate this defect. That's what we did. Clean with laser, grafts, even in the implant, as you can see, just in case we won't get some bone there. Membrane on top, primary closure. This was a month later, so I was slightly worried, but the X-rays showed still good bone levels, so it was all good. And then this is after 6 months after the crown was placed there. So that's the case we saw earlier. I think we will be able, let me see if that's the video, I'll show you the final result of this case. We had some X-rays here. There we go. So this is again 6 months after the surgery, both on the top and the lower. Once we have good bone formation. So that's before. That's it. So what are we doing? Again, same similar steps. Raise the flap, remove the herniation tissue, remove the biofilm on the implant, deep disinfection on the bone only within the app. So if we are sure that we are not directing the light towards the implant, we can use this. Ablation of the infected bone if needed for decortication, and then we finish with biomodulation. And these are some suggested settings. Remove the herniation tissue, and then we can use this for implant surface. As I mentioned, you could go down to 30 millijoules. After 100 millijoules, I would check on the implant surface, ideally sample. Again, decortication. Sorry, first the disinfection and then decortication. We don't want to cause bleeding before we do the disinfection. Yeah. And we finish with biomodulation. So that's the case I showed you before, so I'll show you the 7-year follow-up now. That was 5, and this is 7 years later.
What? No.